Hello, I'm Holly Flink, and this is my level editor tutorial for the second level that I built in, so Minecraft. Minecraft is a very simple thing to use because everybody knows what Minecraft is, but I can tell you basically, so I'm just going to go to a single level, just create new world. In this case, we're going to go into creative because that's the main way you can create levels and all that stuff in survival. That's just a lot of effort because that's actually like you having to play the game and go get the resources yourself, whereas creative is just, here, give it to me. Let's call this tutorial. Sorry, the music was on. And then you can go in here, and so you have your different world types, right? So if I want not the big bumps, because it's easier to build things in super flat worlds, you just change the world type to super flat, which means there's no hills, there's no nothing, it's just a really flat world, whatever. You can customize it and make, like, so this is how deep your world goes, and you can change all that. But I'm not going to because it doesn't matter. You want cheats on so that you can change some stuff. Mainly to get command blocks, which I'll show you how to get. You want structures on. You don't have to have them on for building when you want to build stuff in Minecraft. For what we did, it was helpful because we could build the kingdom around it, around a village that's already pre-made, so we didn't have to build. We still had to build houses one by one, but it was just easier to kind of have a reference for. So you don't have to necessarily have it on. I'll keep it on because who cares? And we'll just create a world. It's funny because at the time that I'm recording this, our level isn't even done yet. It's just easier that we are doing it now. I'm sorry if you can hear my sister very loud. So, look, we're here, and already we have a village. So we started a village, which is not bad. Okay, so first thing you can do if you want to kind of like not have this happen is you can turn off mob spawning like this. You just have random slimes and animals that spawn in the world. You can spawn them yourself. Sorry about that, my sister walked in on me. You see that Iron Golem is killing mobs. For the sake of it, I won't turn them off because it really doesn't matter. You can keep them out. So first things first, let's just go like right here. Okay. So first, how to get to your menu, you just press E. And this is where you have everything. So you have blocks, decoration, redstone, transportation. You can save stuff to your hotbar so that you don't have to come in here all the time. You have miscellaneous, food stuff, tools, combat, and brewing. Here's your inventory, your survival inventory that you can put stuff in so you don't have to keep looking for it, or you can just search it. So first of all, let's go into blocks. So you basically have all the blocks in Minecraft just right here at your fingertip, and all you do is you just click on it, and you have the block, and it infinitely places, like so. Or you hit your middle mouse wheel, or hit shift click, and you can get a stack of 64. The stack of 64, it doesn't change. It's just useful to pull out 64 if you're filling a chest, which I can show you. Alright, you just bring it in here, and if you hold shift middle mouse, and then, hold shift and middle mouse and drag, and you can just fill it up with 64 all the way so that it's a lot simpler than just having to go out and like click middle mouse or shift a million times. So that's all main blocks pretty much are in here, as well as some stairs and stone slabs. In decorations, you have your plants. You've got decoration blocks like these. Some other decoration blocks are in here. Infested, which is just like they have silverfish in them. You have your fences and chests and carpet and glass panes. Things that are not necessarily blocks. You have terracotta, which is not necessarily a building block because you have to make it first. You have to make terracotta first too, but then you have to cook it if you want the special design stuff. You have your shulker boxes, coral, which is more plants, beds, and signs, which signs can be useful to narrate things. So you just pull a sign out, and then you just type. Boop, done. Right, so you have all your stuff, and you can just, if you don't want something in inventory, you can just do what I just did, and you can just click in here like that, or you can just go into your inventory, your survival inventory, and just throw it in the X. So you have a lot of options for stuff you want to do. You have fences, which fences is, you just right click and place, and they do their thing on their own, so you don't really have to do anything of that sort. Sorry, I'm cussing, I'm tired. To get stuff like we did, the special armor stands, you have to download data packs and get resources like that, and download them and install them into Minecraft, and you'll be able to use them, which is what we did. I won't show you because you don't necessarily need them to create a level. Those are just kind of options that you have. So that's all decoration blocks. You have your lighting in here as well. Campfire lamps. Up here are torches and rods, and even sea pickles will light up at night. So they just kind of boop, and they go on basically anything. These guys can't be placed against a wall, like these can. Can't place fire against it. Oh, you can, but like that. Oh, that's something new. These guys you can't though. See, you can do this and have it hang like that, which looks pretty neat. Lanterns are really cool thing to that they added. So then you go into redstone, and redstone is, if you don't necessarily have to use command blocks. Command blocks in this game can allow you to do a lot of things that you can't really do in survival, but redstone allows you to do all those things in survival without it. So if you were to build like a level in survival, you would just need a lot of redstone. So all your redstone stuff is here. Your pressure plates, your buttons, your levers, all your redstone junk that you need. Redstone, the comparators, repeater, hoppers, observers. A lot of people use observers now. Which observers, they basically just look to see if a thing is happening, and then it triggers a redstone thing. You have your trap chest, which also sends redstone signal. So you have a bunch of stuff in here that sends redstone signal that you can use, as well as blocks that need redstone. So dispensers, no blocks don't, I don't know why they're in here. Pistons, TNT, redstone lamps. Daylight detectors can also be used to send redstone signals. You have hoppers that can transfer things, and you have your hopper dropper that also needs redstone. So mainly your redstone stuff is in this redstone section. Transportation, which we didn't really use a lot of since we had command blocks, they are basically rails that you can place down, powered rails which require redstone torches, which are these guys. You have your different type of minecarts and boats. The elytra is something that you can take advantage of when creating puzzles. It allows the player to fly. I can actually show you a bit. I am super bad at it though, so you can't like see. Allows you just kind of float. With fireworks, you can actually like fly around and stuff. So in miscellaneous, which a lot of this stuff can be really useful for when creating your level. First of all, you've got beacons, which beacons can be a source of like, hey, you need to go here, like a giant question mark in the sky almost. In normal games, it's kind of the thing on your mini-map. You can use it for that. You can use it even with observers, like if you get the beacon to light, it could send a redstone signal through the observer and whatnot. You have water and lava, which you can do a lot of things with water and lava. You can, like we did, you can have them swim through it, avoid it, all sorts of stuff. It's a really useful thing. You also have special water with fish, which all it does is just... Oh, now there's a fish. He'll die if he falls out of the water, but who cares? Okay. You I think that's all that's useful in this little section of it. You have this kind of stuff, which can help a player, I guess, if you let them craft. Then you have your mob eggs, so if you want them to fight enemies, or if you need, like, an animal, like, in here, you can just kind of take one out and spawn it. You just take it out and you right-click it. Boom, you got a sheep. So mobs can basically be used for, like, enemies. If you use the ones that are actually bad for you, I won't place any because we're right next to a village and that's so mean. You also have horses and stuff, so if you wanted them to also travel in that sense, you've got horses, donkeys, and mules. Mules, not near donkey or horse, which is stupidly designed. You've got bees now, which can also be pretty cool to play around with. Book and quills can be really useful for storytelling. We use them as diaries that you can go find. You can basically type whatever you want in them, and they open like a book that you can read. Everything else here isn't really, you can have these which make them have to like create a certain type of banner, which could be a pretty interesting idea. You would need a loom, which is a block in decorations, or you can also do a redstone signal by putting like an observer next to a jukebox, and once the music disc is in the jukebox, it can send a redstone connection. I'm not a huge know-it-all of all redstone. I know like nothing about it. I struggled doing my own stuff for my level. I had to ask for help, like, why is this and this working? I don't understand. In the videos, if something didn't work, I'd be like, Casey, why isn't it working? Like, it was just a lot of, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, because redstone is a really complicated type thing. It's a lot, to me, it reminds me of programming, which I'm not good at. So, you have all that, your fireworks are here too. In food, you just have your basic food stuff. It's not really used for anything useful, except for keeping your player alive. We have several chests along the way that the player can pick up food, just in case of, like, fighting enemies, they run out of food, or if they were sprinting, they run out of food. It keeps them from sprinting, and it keeps them from getting health back, so you just have, like, casual food around. It can help. We kind of got a lot of our ideas from a little puzzle game called No Learning Curve, which is, like, a series of puzzles that you do with 2 other people and whatnot, and they have chests with food in them. So it's kind of important just to have, just because if you're playing even on adventure mode, we are playing in survival just because it's better that way. You can't break blocks or pick things up in adventure mode, which kind of limits our players, so we left it in survival, which can also be a pretty dangerous thing to do, especially because people will just want to be like, I'll just smash it and do things and whatnot, and it's like, alright, come on, like, that kind of stuff, but it just makes a better experience overall. So food is just basically used for keeping your player alive if you wanted it to. You have your tools in here, and enchantment books, which can be super useful for items that you want to enchanted to do special thing. It's not in here. We had breaking on a lot of our stuff, and mending, so that it would heal itself while we used it, so it didn't break, and we constantly had to make new ones. So you have all your tools in here and whatnot. In here, you've got armors, and you've got your weaponry and whatnot, which can be useful, as things that, like, you can have laying around that they can find. Here's where they have more stuff that you can use to enchant things with, so if you wanted them, like fire protection, if you wanted feather falling, like if you wanted them to fall softly, you could put that on a pair of boots and have them jump off like a giant building and live. Or you could have what I had, which is boots that were, I can find it. Oh, this was used for the trident if you wanted them to travel across the thing. Sorry. Minecraft just got a huge update. I'm upset that the update actually isn't out yet, because we could have had blue fire and blue stuff, which could have been really cool looking for set design reasons, but it's not in yet, so we couldn't. There it is, Frostwalker. So if you put those on boots, you can have them do puzzles where they have to walk on water, like what I did, or mazes that they have to walk on water type thing, so it's really useful for that. Then you have your potions, which, potions, the main way we're going to use them, I say going to because, like I said, we aren't done with our level yet, is instant damaging, which at the end will like press a button, There it is, potion farming. And we'll press a button and it'll attack the boss. And kind of the concept when you're playing Mario, you know, like when you step on a mini boss's head or Bowser's head, you have to just like avoid his attacks for a bit, and then you can step on his head again. We wanted it to be that way. We have to avoid his attacks and then press a button, and he gets hit with instant damage. And then we have to avoid his attacks again, and then he has like a second phase. That type of fight with him. So potions can be useful for like loads of stuff. The problem with potions is that they run out. So if for our fire resistance that we needed on Eli, 8 minutes was not going to be long enough. Especially if he died, you would lose that ability. So we had to command block it in so that you had infinite, and then if you died, you could step on a pressure plate and get it back. Which is why we had those little huts for that reason. So then you have search, so you can basically search anything. Search bone. And then you have all your bone stuff. So it's a lot easier. Me and Eli mainly used just going in here and like scrolling and looking, and Casey was like just gonna search it. It's whatever you prefer, really. So command blocks, how to get command blocks, you have to basically type it. So you're gonna hit slash, and then it's just gonna be go. And boom, now I have a command block. And command blocks, which I also really struggled with because this is where actual programming comes into play. When you place this, you go into it, you have console commands that can allow you to do things. We had to look up a lot of them. It requires basically code. You actually have to code stuff, which I don't know how to do, so I'm not really going to show you anything, because I struggled with it. Every time I did it, I was like, I did it, right? And then Casey and Neil would be like, no, you didn't. That's wrong. It's not going to do anything. So, command blocks are definitely for programmers, which I'm not. So, that's just how you get a command block, and then you can look up your own commands. We had to look up our commands on how to do a lot of things. And then to activate command blocks, which command blocks can also be used for redstone. If you want to do redstone stuff, you can to activate it, you can just do a lever or, button or pressure plate. It works basically the same way as redstone does, except that it allows you to get into the game files, like into its actual program, and be able to use all of its abilities. Sorry for the lagginess. When I get bored, I have to walk around. I forgot that. When recording and playing Minecraft, my computer goes, stop. What are you doing? So, when you are... I think you just put this. Anyways. Also, you do what I just did there. I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying. I apologize for that. I got sidetracked because I was thinking about 21 things at once. I'll just go on to what I was saying about this box. Another way you can just get blocks is if it's like, oh, I need this block, you can just middle mouse click, and it just gives it to you, which is a quicker way than having to search for it if it's already there. If it's like, oh shoot, I got rid of that block, and it's just like, go up to it, middle mouse click. Sorry, I keep falling around again. So, that's basically how you use Minecraft Creative. It's pretty simple. Command blocks are command blocks allowed you to get into the game's code, that's what I was saying. Code or programming or whatever you want to call it, and change some stuff and do some stuff so that you have the ability to create your own, action or thing. It can also be used for just, giving a player something. So if it's like give them this block and it just hands it, like spits it out or something, you can do that. The greatest thing I can say that they're used for is teleportation, because if you're going to build a level in Minecraft, you don't want your player to have to walk 10 miles to the next location. Like maybe you do. Maybe it's much, you created it much like Skyrim, where, what is that? Oh, it's a specific zombie villager. Sorry. God, I feel like I have ADHD the way that I'm talking right now. If that's the way you have it set up, like Skyrim, where you want them to walk a long distance and come across a lot of different things, you can. But for the sake of ours and just like getting them to the place they need to get to, we use command blocks to teleport them. I don't remember exactly how the code works. I do know that you did need coordinates. So you would step on a pressure plate and it would basically teleport you. Because you can't teleport yourself just normally if you do like TP. And then 2 blah blah blah. Yeah, like it gives you a bunch of coordinates. Just to get around faster type thing, which is what we used when getting around from place to place. We had a hub system. We have a hub system that you step on and it teleports you to like the castle or level 1 or the tutorial levels or level 2 or the mini boss and boss. Like it was just, you know, easy in that sense of the word. So that's basically it. Minecraft is pretty simpler, yeah, pretty simple versus also if you wanted to. Pretty simple versus Mario Maker. I'll finish that sentence before I get sidetracked. Because it's just... Mario Maker has a lot of tiny details that you can do. Same with this, but it's not as tiny. Plus, everybody knows how to use Minecraft. Even and to turn it into survival, it's just, game mode, and then it has all of them, you just click which one you want. So, it's just pretty simple. You just kind of do whatever you want. Minecraft also allows you to do whatever you want. Doing hay underneath a fire pit will actually make the clouds go their little smoke thing. Yeah. Go higher, which we had in some places in my village and like in other things. Just little, it came to my mind just recently. Just a little neat thing. There's a lot of neat things and a lot of things that like you kind of have to research and look into, unless you already know them, which most people do. Me personally, I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And it just kind of happened. It's a lot of exploring. It's a lot of just placing things and seeing if it looks good and then tearing it down and then getting your level corrupted and then having to rebuild basically everything you did and then, yeah. But no, you have a lot of abilities with just the stuff in here. Like I said, you don't even need command blocks. You could literally just do a lot of things with redstone. It's more the things of like teleportation and infinite water breathing. That's probably what you're going to need the command blocks for, because redstone's not going to give you that ability. But it's all pretty simple. You could also build the world in a not super flat world. Yep, not super flat world. I think it's just easier because you have the ability. Oh, I also want to do a thing. Right? Which is something that we found, that we researched and found. It's something you don't necessarily have to do, but it definitely helps when you're building very tall structures, as well as if you're gonna build your own terrain. And that's, just building actual blocks. And, sorry, I moved away from the mic. I am really itchy all of a sudden. So, you go slash, let's go fill. Oops. First of all, actually, oops. You're gonna hit F3, so you get your coordinates, and your coordinates are the block. It's this right here. It's a little dimmed, but it says block, and then it has these. It allows you for a precise block placement. So you go, let's go fill, and you're gonna hit that thing. We're going to go at 4, and we're going to go at that. And then we're going to go at 53, 4, negative 181. And then you just pick a block, so I'm just going to go with grass. And then hit, and boop, you have a block, right? And then let's come over here, right here, up, enter, and boop. So you have, if you can see that, yeah, you have just a block, right? And you don't necessarily, like, we can go up here, right? You can go back into it. Oops. And heck it. Let's go to 15, right? Oh, I just killed an animal. So, boom, look at that. You have this gigantic wall now of blocks, right? We can even come over here. Again. Maybe not. But yeah, that's what it allows you to build your own sorry about the jitteriness. There we go. So now you have like just a giant wall of something, right? And then you can kind of just come over here and just, right? And you can start building your own terrain. It also helps build walls, as you saw. You can just build one straight wall around an entire thing. It gets the job done a lot quicker than having to place. It's a pretty nifty little command there that we discovered. We were trying to see, it was when we were building the castle and we were trying to figure out how to build a terrain and whatnot without it taking 20 million years. And Casey, I think it was Casey, found the fill command, which just allows you to fill in an area. You just put in your current coordinate, as you saw with that. You can change, this is the height in which it fills. You can even go down, so I did this with water. If you go 1 and then your coordinate and you're at 4, it'll fill all the things down to the level 1 block and fill it with water. And then you go to the opposite end of it to fill in a whole area, or you go straight down like the line of the same block that you placed, and you get just a straight line. It does have a max. I can't remember, Casey told me what the max was. There's a max amount of blocks that it can fill, so you just have to watch out for that. But it's pretty handy. It's a pretty handy command. So there's a lot of things that you can do that can probably be a lot easier. This is just what we discovered. What is this? I'm so confused about some of the stuff in the villages because we built the Kino around it, and going around to all the houses in that village, they're so different. And I was like, why? Just make them all cookie cutter. It probably looks better. It's better game design, but cookie cutter was just a lot easier. So that's basically all I have and know. It does take a lot of resource. You can research, and you can get resource packs or data plan packs or whatever to kind of give you the ability to mess around with more of the games. You can even do this in mods. We were planning to do that at first. The problem with mods is that there's just so many new things that are different from the game that it would just take a long time to kind of learn in. I feel like if I might do this again, but in a mod, because you do have more at your hand that you can use. I don't know if I will, though, unless we're allowed to do teams again in advanced level design. Then I'll ask Eli and Casey if they want to team up again and do Minecraft again, except this time in mods, because that would be a whole completely different world in modded than it would be in just this. The other struggle with that is my PC and how slow and garbage it is. It kind of sucks that the predicament that I'm in, because I'm actually getting a new computer that's going to be a lot nicer and run everything a lot better, so this will look way better when I just turn and look and stuff. I can have, you see these trees? These will actually look like trees and not just blocks. I have my graphics down from fancy, wait, let me show you. Which will probably, yeah, I went fast, right? Whoa, look at that. The tree, you can see through it. Oh, wow, everything looks way better, right? And they're back to being like blobs. So, I have to have everything turned out because my computer's garbage. But I'm getting a new one in a week, which is unfortunate because I could have used it for the next milestone and for the next building period. So that's basically Minecraft in a nutshell. It's a lot easier because everybody knows it. A lot of people know what Minecraft is and how to use Minecraft, so it's not really a big deal. But I would just say research. Research, because even if you know the game super well, there's always something that you can find that you didn't know you could do that can, oh, that slime is just ruining their crops. I'm sorry. I keep getting sidetracked. There's just a lot of things in Minecraft that you could do that you probably have no idea you had the ability to even do. There's also a lot of things in command blocks that you can do that's probably a lot simpler than what we did. It just takes a lot of research. So, good luck. That's all I can say. Because, you know, I prefer to play Minecraft just plain old vanilla and just like build everything. I kept wanting to do absolutely everything with redstone, and Eli and Casey was like, why when we have command blocks? And I was like, because that's all I know, and I barely know how to do that. Like, I'm just so OG that I'm like, I don't even know all these special. I've never used command blocks before, like, 4 years ago when I started playing with a group of friends. They were like, yeah, you know, you can just teleport yourself to me, and I'm like, what? Because I just like playing Minecraft just by itself. But anyways, that is my tutorial video, and hopefully today or tomorrow we'll be able to finish the actual level that we're building. We're very close. We're so close. We're so close. We just have a few more things to do with the boss. We finally got his health system set up. We gotta put blocks around, barrier blocks or glass blocks around him so we can't actually go hit him. We had to set up all the redstone for his attacks and him getting hurt. And then we just have to spawn in the mini boss and get the shop system set up. So we're very close to being done. I hope the level is actually portfolio worthy and good. So thank you for watching my tutorial. If you didn't know how to use Minecraft Creative, or if you just didn't know the fill command, I don't know. This is for you. Anyways, that's my tutorial, and soon the actual level will be out and I'll have to edit it again, and I want to die. It's fine though, okay? Bye. Have a good day.